I had a question. Is it must to pray in the mosque or just highly recommended? Before I answer this, I'd like to mention that it is a debatable matter between the scholars. For example, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal said it's a must, and he supported his opinion by ayat and a hadith. Among that, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ. So there are two commands here. First, establish the prayer, and then the second command that to pray and to prostrate with those are prostrating. And another evidence of Imam Ahmad from the Quran, that the ayat in Surah An-Nisa, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded the Prophet ﷺ to pray in jama'ah at the time of the war. So Allah never gave the permission to the Prophet ﷺ to pray alone when the time of a fighting, where that's a very critical time, let alone the time of peace. And many ahadith. There's a blind man came to the Prophet ﷺ and asked him to give him permission to pray at home. First of all, the Prophet he gave him that, and then he asked him, are you able to recognize the adhan? Do you hear the adhan? He said yes. And despite that, he's a blind man and he doesn't have somebody to lead him to the mosque. The Prophet said, Ajib, then you have to respond. You heard the adhan, you know this is a time for a prayer? You have to come forward. And the Prophet he said once, هممت أن آمر فتقام الصلاة. I thought to ask somebody to lead the prayer. And then I go with other groups, they have wood with them, and I want to go to those praying at their homes to burn their homes. فأحرق عليهم بيوتهم. And subhanallah, Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, كنا لا نتخلف عن الصلاة مع رسول الله إلا رجلان منافق معلوم النفاق أو مريض وإن الرجل ليؤتى به يهادى بين الرجلين حتى يأتي الصف. We used to pray behind the Prophet ﷺ, and nobody will stay home except two. Either one is known as a hypocrite or somebody is sick. And he said even the one who is sick, he will come trying his best. Two people will be carrying him right and left until he will stand on the row. Can you imagine how they care about that? عليكم بسنن الهدى وإن من سنن الهدى الصلاة في المسجد الذي يؤذن فيه. So there are many ahadith that not only just encouraging to pray in the mosque, you can get permission, you get impression from that, you get conclusion from that, that it's a must. However, other scholars, they said, no, it's not a must, except Friday, at noon. Salatul Jumu'ah. Other than this, it's recommended. And they quote many ahadith. Among that, that's a prayer in Jama'ah that exceed in reward that 60 times or like 70 times or 25 times, depending on different narration, that if you are praying alone. So they said it's preferable. But now, despite all of these evidence, and despite what the scholars said, is that must or not, looking at their actions, when they look at their action, themselves insist to pray in the mosque. Despite they said it's not even must, they will make sure to pray in the mosque. And they feel bad if they miss the salah. Not only they feel bad if they miss the salah, كان يعزي بعضهم بعضا إذا فاتت أحدهم تكبيرة الإحرام مع الإمام. If they miss تكبيرة الإحرام behind the imam, they feel as if somebody died from his family, like as if aza. They give him a condolence. They missed تكبيرة الإحرام behind the imam. Not they missed the salah. So they insist to pray in the mosque. Abdullah ibn Sa'id ibn Musayyib radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Let's listen to this. It's amazing. When they talk about him and his biography and they mention how he was dedicated, they said that when he spoke about himself, he said, أربعون عاما, for 40 years, not 40 months or 40 days, for 40 years, I never missed Takbirat al-Ihram behind the Imam, and I never saw the back of somebody praying in front of me. So he's always in the first row. To witness that, they have not seen him going anywhere between his home and the masjid. His heart is attached to the mosque. And when your heart attached to the mosque, that's a sign of Iman. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُ الرَّجُلَ يَعْتَادُ الْمَسَاجِدِ فَاشْهَدُوا لَهُ بِالْإِيمَانِ. If you saw the person that his heart attached to the mosque and used to come to the mosque and he missed the mosque, the moment that he leave the mosque, he missed the mosque, you have to witness to him that he is a believer. We know Iman is in the heart, but there is something that will witness to you, that's your actions. So when your heart's attached to the mosque, this is no doubt is a sign of Iman. إنما يعمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله. Those they maintain the masajid, either physically or spiritually, those they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah make us among them. اللهم اجعلنا من عمال المساجد. Before I concluded, I would like to mention this beautiful hadith. It's very important. Allah will call in a day for judgment, and He will ask, where are those my neighbors? أين جيراني? Do you think Allah will have neighbors? أين جيراني? Where are those? My neighbors. They said, who are they? He will say, عمار المساجد. Those they maintain the mosque, those that care about the mosque, those their hearts attached to the mosque, those are going to be called the neighbors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may Allah make us among them. Ameen. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Just keep in mind, brothers, tomorrow Asr will be at 3:45. So Salat al-Asr غدا عند الساعة 53:40 دقيقة. تقبل الله صلاة الجميع. آمين.